Good morning, India Ultimate. This is Mrinalini again from the lush green fields of Chabwa, Assam. This morning, we're going to hear from our executive board. They're going to share a short recap of the COVID year, including UPAI's vision and strategic plan for the future. I heard they're also going to announce the winner of the Piyush Vaghela Award, so you should stay tuned. After that, after the EB speaks, we will hear a short 3-minute documentary about Ranjita, a girl who just started learning to play Ultimate in Assam. Up next, we will have the announcement of the UPAI Kickoff Fellows for the year 2021-2022. This is a new, exciting fellowship for young women leaders in India. Following that, we will have a live 30-minute Ask Me Anything AMA with the EB. So bring all your questions to them there. One last thing before I hand you off to the executive board. I'm sure you've heard of The Strength of the Pack, a documentary made by our own Varsha Yashwant Kumar, who's actually going to be on one of the breakout sessions later this afternoon, so you can catch her there and ask her any questions you might have. Yes, so The Strength of the Pack is a story about India's first under 23 team and their amazing journey to go participate at the World Championships in London in 2015. That campaign was fully sponsored by KSK Energy, which is run by Mr. Kishore Sethuraman. And on behalf of UPAI, I would like to thank Mr. Kishore and his son Rishabh, who now plays for Storm Chasers in Mumbai, for making that campaign possible. They literally put us on the map. So thank you. After the conference, please watch the documentary. It's in the link below. And now off to our fearless leader, Meghna.
Welcome to UPAI's National Conference. Thank you for choosing to attend this session and actually understand all the work that we've been doing over the past year. This is the COVID avatar of the National Conference. So like everything and everyone, we are 100% online. But what we're going to do is also commit to making it really fast moving and snappy. Your hosts for today are just the four of us, your EB members. That's me, Sumedha, Alex, and Shishir. If they're on the call, they're going to wave. And we're just going to jump straight in, right? And we're going to start with a flashback of the vision that this EB committed to, and talk a little bit about how we are tracking on some of our commitments. So we will start with organizational sustainability. And while organizational sustainability has been crucial for UPI from the very beginning, I think with COVID, it has highlighted a lot of risks for the organization as a whole. And we will deep dive into some of these risks. So today we will talk about financial sustainability. And the last time we spoke, you will remember that we spoke about a deficit of 32 lakhs. We have managed to bring that down to 8 lakhs, and we will take you through the details of that. We're also going to address the status of our application for recognition as a National Sports Federation with the Government of India. We also want to take the opportunity to focus on the second pillar of equity and inclusivity and establish that financial sustainability and access to ultimate Frisbee for everyone need not sit on opposite sides of the spectrum and can coexist. And this EB is determined to work to ensure that they do coexist. And finally, while you might have listened to all our community chairs take you through the fantastic work that they've put in through, I think, arguably the toughest year that UPI had to face. I want to also highlight that this is a year of change for UPI. We've had a number of leaders complete their tenure with the committees. We've had new leaders take up the mantle, some very young leaders take up their mantle, and they've done fabulously well. It is also the year where we've had the maximum number of volunteers. So today we have 79 people who are working with us as our community chairpersons and community committee members. We also have 6 interns who work with Manix and Minu, who are, of course, thankfully our full-time employees, to ensure that we've accomplished everything that we've managed to do over the last year. I'm going to hand it off to Alex to kind of go deeper into what it looks like with our interaction with the government. Over to you, Alex.
Hello, folks. Thanks for that, Meghna. So, yeah, so starting off with the governance updates, this is under our pillar for driving organization sustainability, like Meghna mentioned earlier. We've got some great news here. We have registered a Section 8 company. It's called Flying Disc Sports Federation India. What this does is it allows us to apply for ATG and raise monies from CSR programs, and also for individuals who are looking for tax breaks. So this would help us reach out to more companies and help get us more support and more sponsorship opportunities. And not only that, and 3 years down the line, you'll also be able to apply for FCRA and accept foreign donations with this, right? And another update that we have under the governance is we have heard back from the sports ministry, where from the Youth and Sports Affairs in respect to our application for NSF status. And they've asked us to register in 23 states and union territories and then reapply. So we are currently registered in a few states, and this would be one of our priorities, something that we'll be focusing on in this coming year, where we would fundraise this with our legal and operations and advisory teams to get this going. Right. In other news is something else that was great for us to help build up this chatter on ultimate frisbee in the country. Was recently in the parliament, we had an MP from Ahmedabad ask the sports minister about ultimate frisbee, which was great for us. It just helps build up the chatter around the sport in the country. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks. So going on to the next one. Next slide, and handing this over to Shishir.
Thank you, Alex. Okay, on the financial summary part, we came into this year with a 32 lakh deficit, but the really great story here is that we've actually already toned that down to 8 lakhs. We've been able to achieve that because of a lot of support that we've got from our community and partners. So our UPI partners have waived off, so have a lot of our members. And we've also got a lot of significant donations and support from other members. And all in all, the 32 lakh number has actually gone down to 8 lakhs. This continues to be a very important pillar of our ability to sustain the organization. And our vision and our hope is that in the coming year and the years to come, we're able to completely get rid of this deficit. And we're also able to become a much more financially stable and sustainable organization. With that, we'll dive into a bit more of details of what these finances were for last year. So the 8.6 number that you saw on the last slide continues to be on our balance sheet for last year. So that's right on top, 8.6 lakhs of pending reimbursements or expenses that we have. We further have expenses on the operations that's largely on the ops, workforce that we have, and which been leading a lot of work that we've done in the last, couple of years. We also have the WFTF affiliation fee, which we were able to get a 50% discount last year. So that's actually lesser than what we would have actually, what it actually would have been. And then accounting for certain miscellaneous and governance expense, that's our total expenses. Our revenue or income is really coming from a lot of community donations. So that continues to be a cornerstone for what we are which is able to help drive the sport forward. UPI membership fee continues to be a strong part, as well as certain refunds that we got from WFTF. This last year particularly has been tough for us, as for everyone else. We've got less than 500 full paying members in the last year. And with that, and the goal of being financially stable and sustainable, we wanted to make sure that we were able to, also tone down and become a bit more leaner in the organization. There's been an ops team change. We earlier had two people supporting us full time, which was Sumesh and Minu. Sumesh served us really well. He did some excellent work. He has now moved on to greener pastures to work with One All, and we now are actually having only one person full time supporting us, which is Minu. That kind of helps us as well to be a bit more lean and toned down with our expenses side. As we look forward on this financial aspect, especially in the coming year, which continues to be tough with COVID, we're hoping to make sure that our paying members, which were 500 last year, we're able to kind of get back that number up to roughly in the space of 1,000. 1,000 or 1,200 paying members will help us to ensure that we remain financially afloat as an organization and we don't go back into deficit. And that really is our goal. Of course, as you saw on the last page, what Alex mentioned, the goal is to spread the sport into 23 or 24 states. So we do have a larger objective to really spread the sport out and have a lot more people, playing it and being members and paying. But roughly give or take 1,000 is what we're really achieving for to make sure that we're financially afloat. And we definitely need support from the community to continue to pay the membership fees. We're more than happy to dive into details of finances or anything else to make sure and make sure that the money that you're giving us is spent in the right way. But we need the support to make sure that we are moving in the right direction. Cool. With that, I think we'll move on to the next pillar and talk about equity inclusivity. Sumedha, over to you.
Uh, so in the COVID year, we have been able to have an active outreach across different locations of the country through a network of local volunteers who have helped us reach out to the community in terms of supporting with rations, supporting with medical aid, supporting in terms of just raising awareness about the do's and don'ts of the COVID, being in the pandemic year. We have also had a very well-designed return to play policy that has been announced, which not only talks about how athletes can get back to training after a break of about a year's time, but also talks about how you can be sensitive about your local numbers of cases and ensure that you're not becoming the reason for spread of the disease. And for that, we have a very nice tracker that's been put together by our operations team, which actively monitors the numbers of cases and every week shares an update about which places can continue to play normally and which places need to refrain from regular organized sessions and make sure they're staying safe as a community. We have also had a growth in the number of people who are working with us as volunteers. I think a lot of people have offered to be present when we need any work done and have offered to volunteer their time with us, which has been great. Apart from that, talking about new initiatives that we've taken up in the last year, two primary ones are the People's Ultimate League and the Kickoff Fellowship. The People's Ultimate League is a grassroots initiative which aims at making the sport available to communities that don't traditionally have access to playing an organized sport. For this, we currently have two organizations that we're already in talks with. We have Aravani in Bangalore and Basera, which is through the NAS Foundation working in Delhi. Shishir and I will be working with these organizations in Bangalore and Delhi respectively. And we hope to make this something that reaches out to a lot more organizations in different cities and make the sport available to everybody, irrespective of gender and where they come from. The Kickoff Fellowship is another similar initiative through which we want to take young women leaders from our community and give them a chance to contribute more towards the larger community through a system that supports them to develop their true potential through sport. We all know of individuals through our community, through our teams, through our clubs, who have who've had their journeys of transformation from starting to play and then becoming their own person through the sport. One example would be Nimisha from Dreamcatchers, who is the only national team coach, female national team coach that we have in the country at the moment. But yes, there's so many more at every club level, at every local, ultimate space. You will find women who've been uh, facing the challenges that they have and coming out of it great. And the Kickoff initiative is basically trying to support such women in different parts of the country uh, to do a lot more than they're doing right now. Cool. In terms of partnerships, I'd like to begin with thanking Book a Smile, who's been one of our primary supporters through our previous year's campaigns and projects. And they've been one key resource in helping us make sure the sport is accessible to everybody in different places. Uh, we have very interesting conversations happening with Bangalore United, which is a sports club based out of Bangalore, in terms of taking the sport to a very different dynamic of people in another part of the country. And we have other conversations happening in Bombay, Ahmedabad, Chandigarh, and Chennai around with similar organizations like Great Goals, Mumbai Strikers, Transpedia, and Sports Saga, who all want to work together with us in terms of making organized ultimate possible in their cities and spaces. Uh, Finally, I would like to thank Usha, who has been one of our primary partners in the previous years in organizing tournaments. We would love to re-engage with them to run similar events in the future. And we're also looking for more organizations that we could partner with in different places to make sure our sport is accessible and sustainable for the larger community in the coming years. And like we've said before, since we are a volunteer-run organization, it would be great if everybody can pool in their resources and build that network to help us grow and reach bigger spaces. Thank you.
Thanks, Sue. I'm just going to pick up from where Sumedha left off, something that she said about being a volunteer organization. I think our organization is great because it is a player-run organization, and we've gone on to do a lot of phenomenal things, largely because we have a player base that is simply put phenomenal, even though I am biased. We are here today to really award Mel and Ambarish as the next Piyush Vaghela winners for the year 2020-2021. Though I think the recognition is a little too late when it comes to both of these fantastic individuals. I will just say a few words about the award for those who aren't aware and are watching this. Piyush was a fantastic coach who used to coach the team of Silent Voice in Ahmedabad, and he passed away while he was coaching the team. And I think his death was a shock to all of us. He passed away when lightning struck a tree under which him and his team were taking respite from during the rains. Varun Solanki, one of his students, also passed away. This happened in 2013. And in his memory, we established the Piyush Vaghela Award, which is an annual award that the UPI seeks to share and recognize those who've gone to great lengths to grow the community. I want to say a few words about Mel, who's also been my teammate on the Classic or the Masters team campaign in Japan. Mel is a national team player. She also happens to be the mom of a national team player. She captains, I think, one of India's best mixed and single gender teams in the country. And she also heads the Goa State Ultimate Frisbee Association. And it's wonderful to see what Mel has done with respect to putting Goa on the map. Today, for any Indian Frisbee player, Goa is just a permanent fixture on our calendars. And personally, we all look towards ensuring that we are at least there for Goa Hat, or we are playing Holy Goa Sixes, or we are at least watching the All-Star game, all of which I think Mel, with her tenacity and ingenuity, has kind of structured. Her approach is usually not linear. She thinks about different formats, how to make the game more fun, and how to involve folks, not just from our country, but even outside at all levels of play. Mel, I think thanks a lot from a lot of us, and hope to see you in Goa again. I'll pass it on to Alex to say a few words about another good friend of mine, Ambrish.
Thanks, Meghna. So two fantastic individuals, Mel and Amrish, two very deserving individuals. So I had a great opportunity to work with Amrish closely on the competition committee, and I felt he was an amazing leader, an amazing person who really helped empower us and the committee to do more than what we could envision at that point. So I'll just go back a little before the competitions committee for a lot of us who started playing in the past couple of years and may not know Amrish really well. Amrish was one of the key people who was there when UPI formed and helped UPI get recognized at WFDF. And post which he took on the competitions committee, for which he was chairperson for multiple years. And he still continues to be the mentor for the competition committee. He was one of the key people who helped us progress from playing a 5-2 gender ratio to 4-3, and then further to alternating gender ratio at UPI tournaments. He also helped introduce the single gender tournament at the last year's championship and bring in the beach nationals this year in this coming season and the state championship, right? Amrish is and doing this progression where we were playing with 4-5 tournaments in a year about 4 years ago and bringing that into the entire NCS format of sections, regions, and nationals really helped us build a lot more teams in the country. And we went in from playing with few club teams across the country to about 140 in just 5 years' time. And a lot of this, a credit for a lot of this needs to go to Amrish, and hence it's why he's a deserving candidate for this amazing award.
Hi, I would like to thank the Ultimate Players Association of India for the Piyush Vaghela Award. I am honored to receive an award that carries a memory of a coach that meant so much to this community. I would like to thank my husband Nathan, who supports all my crazy ideas, and I would like to thank Goa Ultimate. I will always be a part of Indian Ultimate Frisbee. I would like to thank everyone who helped and supported me over the years. Ultimate Frisbee in India is my team. Thank you.
Wow, that's a really incredible honor. First of all, I'd like to thank the Meghna and the EB for bestowing this award on me. It's extremely special, and well, I really appreciate it, I have to be honest. If you don't mind, this next part I'm going to do in Hindi. मैं पीयूष भाई से खाली एक ही बार मिला, लेकिन सूरत में हम लोग एक टूर्नामेंट खेली थे, साइलेंट वॉइस के अगेंस्ट खेले थे अपने. तो गेम के बाद मुझे याद है कि साइलेंट वॉइस, मानिक्स भैया और मैं दोनों एक ही टीम में खेल रहे थे. मुझे याद है कि सब साइलेंट वॉइस के लड़के लोग आए थे, जो लीडर्स थे टीम के, हम लोग से पूछ रहे थे कोचिंग का क्या करना चाहिए. मुझे याद है पीयूष का बहुत ही एनर्जी था, वो इतना एंथुजियास्टिक, इतना जोश के साथ, इतना एंथुजियाज्म के साथ वो बात करता था फ्रिस्बी के बारे में. बहुत ही अच्छा लगा उसे मिलके. Okay, and also I'd like to thank, sorry, returning to English, I'd like to thank the committees, the original, the pre-UPAI committees that were there. It was fantastic to work with all of you, to whatever extent that I managed to. And the original EB with Mama, Manu, Thunder, and Cow, and then all the people who helped her out alongside the advisory boards over the years, the various EBs that have been there since, and especially my beloved competitions committee, who we do get a lot of slack from you all, but you know that we're trying our best. And really, I've had the opportunity to work with some fantastic teams, the competitions teams. I mean, the committees have been really a pleasure to work with, and thank you very much.
Yeah. Congratulations to both Nell and Amrish. So with that, we're going to go ahead to what we have planned for and what we are planning for this coming year. Looking ahead for this year, we continue to work on our three strategic pillars with a keen focus on financial sustainability and government recognition. So these are two uh, focus points for us as the EB in this coming year. And a lot of that has been covered by Shishir and a little bit by me in our earlier slides. With this coming season, for the third season of the NCS, after missing the last year to COVID, is most likely to begin in June, July. It's still, I mean, we are still keeping tentative because it's still day on how we are progressing with the still ongoing pandemic. But we have already published the rules for the upcoming season. Please go ahead and have a look at it if you still haven't had a chance to see it. It's a lot more fun. There's a lot more to understand. A lot more to rack your brains. A lot of which you can ask us questions with our competition committee update, in which Ambrish and the rest of the committee would be answering a lot of those questions, right? We have also, in other great news, is we have bid for AOBU CC Club Championships for 2022-2023. So we're hoping to hear back with good news on that. And this would be preceded by the Beach Nationals happening this year in this coming season. And in terms of possible international competition in the next year or little over a year, the only confirmed tournament from WFBF so far is the WCBU, which will happen in Los Angeles. So you would hear more from us about that. So watch out for updates on that in these coming months. Another tournament that is not a WFBF tournament, but which is also confirmed for the coming year is the World Masters Games, which would be happening in Japan. We would have updates on that also coming up, right? All right, moving on to the next slide. Yep. So we've a lot of questions. Sorry, Meghna.
No, go ahead. You can answer all the questions.
11, jump in.
Cool. So maybe we can all take one. There are 4 questions. The first, which is growing number of players in the community. What are UPI's plans for accreditation of level 1 coaches? This is actually answered in more detail than I can probably cover right now by Suhani, who's our coaching committee chair. She's the best person to walk you through all the details. I think the second question, formalizing coaching certification from Surat, is also being addressed by UPI and Suhani. You please do watch her segment if you missed it. It happened yesterday, but yeah, she'll walk you through all of this. We'll probably just address the third question, which is district level association for ultimate Frisbee. How do we take this forward to other parts of Assam and Northeast India? Great question here. I think the one district that has been registered is Changri district. And this is almost after 4 years of engaging with the ANT and running NCS over the last couple of years with them. This is, of course, Manix is very closely involved in ensuring that this district was recognized and registered. Happy to work with ANT, who in the region is our trusted partner, to see how we can take every other partnership forward and register more districts. We can have a detailed discussion with the operations team on how exactly we can take this forward. The last question from Bangalore is how were the membership fees collected last year being used? Shishir actually took us through this in his presentation. It's largely used for operational expenses. It is used to pay the WIFTIF. And that was actually just the 2 things that we used the membership fees for. I'm just going to take this moment to bring up the equity and resilience ambassadors at this point in time, who are members from our community. There are about 21 of them right now who have actually donated a large amount to ensure that the gap from the membership fees, because only 38% of our community paid fees last year, bridged, and we were able to remain afloat. So another call here to try and pay membership fees this year when that is announced, it goes a long way in ensuring that we do remain relevant. Please do share information about upcoming events. You would have heard in detail about NCS. Ambarish and Aishu would have taken you through the new format, and the National Team Committee will be working actively with respect to the 2022 WCBU campaign. I think that's it for today. Do let us know your thoughts, write into us. You can reach out to Alex, Shishir, and Sumedha with board at indiaultimate.org. You can write to me with the email ID of president@indiaultimate.org, or you can simply reach out to our operations team, which is operations@indiaultimate.org. Thanks for watching.
নমস্কাৰ, মোৰ নাম শ্ৰীমতী ৰঞ্জিতা এক্কা। মোৰ ঘৰ গোলাঘাট জিলাৰ বকিয়াল বাগানৰ। মই এজনী ফ্ৰিজবি প্লেয়াৰ। প্ৰথম যেতিয়া মই ফ্ৰিজবি খেলটো আৰম্ভ কৰিছিলোঁ, তেতিয়া মোৰ ঘৰৰ ওচৰৰ মানুহে যি টি কথা কৈছিলে। কিছুমানে হাঁহিছিলে, কি ভাত খোৱা ডিছটো খেলি আছ বুলি। কিন্তু মই কাৰো কথাত গুৰুত্ব দিয়া নাছিলোঁ। কোনোবা যদি হাঁহিছে হ'লে হাঁহক। মোক ফ্ৰিজবি খেলিব ভাল লাগে, সেইকাৰণে মই খেলিছিলোঁ। আৰু মই লগৰ ল'ৰা ছোৱালীকো খেলটোৰ বিষয়ে বুজাইছিলোঁ আৰু খেলটো খেলিবলৈ উৎসাহ দিছিলোঁ। খেলিবলৈ যাম। আমাৰ বকিয়াল বাগানত এটাই ডাঙৰ ফিল্ড আছে। মই ফ্ৰিজবি খেল শিকাৰ আগত যেতিয়া ফিল্ডত খেল চাবলৈ যাওঁ, ল'ৰাবিলাকে খেলি থাকে ক্ৰিকেট, ফুটবল, তেতিয়া আমাক দেখি ল'ৰাবিলাকে ছোৱালীবিলাকৰ কাম নাই নেকি ঘৰত বুলি কৈ আমাক খেলি দিয়ে। কিন্তু যেতিয়াৰ পৰা মই আৰু মোৰ লগৰ ছোৱালী কেইজনে তাত ফ্ৰিজবি খেলটো আৰম্ভ কৰিলোঁ, তেতিয়া ল'ৰাকেইটাই আমাক একো নোকোৱা হ'ল। এইটো কি খেল বুলি আমাক সুধিছিলে। আমি তেতিয়া সিহঁতক ক'লোঁ, এইটো এটা নতুন খেল বুলি সিহঁতক ক'লোঁ আৰু খেলৰ বিষয়ে, খেলৰ নিয়মবিলাক সিহঁতক আমি বুজাই দিলোঁ আৰু ক'লোঁ যে এই খেলটো ল'ৰা ছোৱালীৰ ভেদভাৱ নথকা খেল, মানে ল'ৰা ছোৱালীয়ে একেলগে এই খেলটো খেলিব পাৰে। এতিয়া আমি চবে একেলগে ল'ৰা ছোৱালী মিলি খেলটো খেলোঁ। এই খেলটোৱে আমাৰ ল'ৰা আৰু ছোৱালীৰ মাজত থকা ভেদভাৱ নোহোৱা কৰিছে আৰু আমাৰ মাজত একতা ভাৱ বাঢ়িছে। আমাক ইমান ধুনীয়া খেল এটা শিকাই দিয়াৰ কাৰণে।